Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so are Rolexes too consistent? Before we get into that, check out this wristwatch that I spotted on the train. This is Gigalakutra? I don't know, I'm gonna butcher it. I tried. Gigalakutra, how's that? Delphine hands, is probably white gold, silver dial, sub-dial. Yeah, pretty cool. Definitely an expensive, nice watch, and probably the first Gigalakutra that I've seen in Japan. I'm sure I've seen others, but the first one I've actually gotten close enough to know what it was. All right, so are Rolexes too consistent? Now let's talk about the difference between accuracy and consistency, just to clarify. Accuracy is just, you know, how fast it is a day in general. You know, 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds fast a day, a couple seconds slow a day. Consistency, of course, and I know you guys know this, I'm just making sure, just so we're all on the same page, is it consistent day to day? Is it +2 a day? One day is it -2? Another day is it +5? Another day? And in my experience, Rolexes are incredibly consistent. And you know, if you've got one that's a second a day fast, it's going to be by the end of the week 7 seconds fast. I mean, you can count on it. 5 seconds a day fast. By the end of the week, it's going to be 35 seconds fast. Pretty much, you know, to the second. Very consistent, pretty much, I guess, under any sort of wearing situations and positionings. Now, what's the, I mean, you would think that would be a good thing, but what's the, I guess, drawback of that? Well, you can't self-regulate the watch through positioning, and I found out how nice that was, or is, to do when I started wearing my grandfather's Wedgfield. I wore that for a month, and it was, after a month, within 5 seconds. And it was awesome. I never had to touch it, I never had to get into the, you know, work with the crown or pull out the crown. I just would position it either on its face or, you know, face up, depending on if it was running fast or slow. And it was awesome. I mean, it was just really cool to be able to do that. And I realized that you can't do that with a Rolex, and after a month or after 2 months, you really have to get inside it again and start fiddling with the second hand and the, you know, making sure everything's right with it. I mean, if you're like me, I like to have a really accurate watch, so yeah, a month is probably pushing it, like 2 weeks, and I'm ready to get in there and start correcting things. So I really appreciated that with the Wedgfield, and I realized that the technical advancements that make it consistent can, well, make it so that you can't really, you can't slow it down or speed it up when you need to. And that was kind of a nice aspect of old Rolexes, with those little, you know, I guess pamphlets that would come with the Rolexes that would say, you know, if you want to gain time, do this. If you want to lose time, do that. I believe it was gain time, face up, lose time, crown up, lose even more time, crown down. I don't know, I'm butchering it, but you can find it on Google Images. You can find how to regulate your Rolex with positioning. If you Google that, you'll see. And I thought, that's got to be great. That's got to be great to do, you know, with those old Rolexes, and never have to, you know, get in and sort of tweak it. And that could be a real bonus with a vintage Rolex. And you know, I don't know if that's the balance bridge that makes things more consistent and makes it so you can't regulate. I'm not really sure what it is about a watch that does that, but but is it or what? Or Rolex is too consistent? Well, I would say, yeah, in a way they are. But that's only if you really have access to the perfect time. I mean, the only reason I could set the wedge field and keep it within 5 seconds a day, often within 2 seconds a day, is because I had access to something like time.is. You know, if I'm in the wild and in a sort of a more, well, I guess less technologically advanced situation, I can do that. And all of a sudden, the consistency would be a boon, because, you know, if you're in the woods for a week and your 1 second fast a day Rolex is, if it's whatever it's running at, you know that it's 7 seconds fast. Whereas if it's the wedge field and, you know, I'm in a situation where I can check time.is or something like that, I just have to assume it's kind of right. I mean, after 2 weeks, after a month, you know, the best I could say is it's about whatever time it is. It's about 3 o'clock. It's about 4 o'clock, give or take a minute or two. But with the consistency of a Rolex, you really could say, well, this watch is 1 second fast a day, and it's been 30 days, and right now it's 3 o'clock, so it's on the dot, so it's 2:59 and 30 seconds, you know, and that's kind of cool. So is Rolex too consistent? Well, you know, if you live next to a computer, probably, but if you're in a situation where you don't have access to the time and it is your tool of telling the time, that consistency is favorable. So kind of interesting, depending on the situation. But anyway, hopefully you guys found that interesting. Thanks for watching. See you next time.